Hi guys, welcome to Students of Chemistry. So, this is what I'm gonna discuss with you guys in our upcoming videos. So, let's move on to our topic. To start with, we must learn what is spin. So, spin is nothing but an intrinsic property of an electron of a nucleus, of a proton actually. So, what is an intrinsic property? It it means it lies within itself. It is the nature of the neutron. It is the nature of the proton. It is the nature of the electron. Okay. So some say that a spin is beyond the thinking capacity of the human beings. Yes, it is absolutely true. I'm not going to waste your time by expanding many things about spin, but I'm going to say what is sufficient for a number. Okay. So we all know that spin is part of a angular momentum. Sorry. So there are two angular momentums. One is orbital angular momentum and spin angular momentum. Combined together, they will call us total angular momentum. So I'm going to introduce you to the angular momentum value. Okay. So let us first understand what angular momentum is. First, you consider a straight line. Consider a ball moving along a straight line. So for this, we will consider it as a linear momentum. Momentum is nothing but the amount of force you have given to this ball. The amount of force you have given to this ball to reach this endpoint. Okay. So that amount of force or the linear momentum, we call it as P, which is equal to mass and velocity of this ball. This is linear momentum actually. And there is another thing called angular momentum. What is angular momentum? Consider the same ball rotating along a circle path. Okay. Rotating along a circle. So with mass and velocity, in addition to mass and velocity, we would also have a parameter called radius here because it is a circle path. So angular momentum is nothing which is L, denoted by L. We will multiply radius with the mass and velocity. So L is equal to mvr. This is angular momentum. So let us get into the quantum mechanic aspects of angular momentum. So in quantum mechanics, the energy of angular momentum is said to be quantized. So what is quantized? So consider this energy levels from 0 to 6, which I have given here. So consider your energy of angular momentum as some value. So when I say quantized, this some value will be multiplied by n, an integer. Okay. So if the sum value, if you consider ground state 0, if our energy in the ground state is also 0, n into 0 will be my first ground state, that is always going to be 0. So if 1 is the first excited state value's energy, then n into 1 will be my first excited state. So consider n as 2 here. So 2 into some value. So if my energy of ground state is 0, so 2 into 0 will be 0. That 0 will be my ground state's energy as quantized energy. And if some value is going to be 1, my first excited value, some value is going to be 1. That 2 into that 1 will be 2, which is my first excited state value in the quantized aspect. So this will be my new quantized energy levels. 2 into 1 is 2, 2 into 2 is 4, 2 into 3 is 6, and so on. So it won't have continuous energy levels, but it would have discrete energy levels. This discrete nature, we call it as quantized. Okay. So in this angular momentum, this total angular momentum, the sum value could be given by this relation j into j plus 1, the whole power 1 by 2, which is square root of j into j plus 1 into h bar. H bar is nothing but h by 2 pi, the Planck constant divided by 2 into pi. Okay. So you could easily correlate this value with the rotational energy, which is Ej is equal to Bj into J plus 1. You could see that the total angular momentum is proportional to the square of rotational energy. Square root of J into J plus 1 in total angular momentum. Square that is proportional to the rotational energy. J into J plus 1 is proportional to the rotational energy Ej. The J is nothing but rotational quantum number. So L total is total angular momentum. Okay. B is nothing but the rotational constant. So if my J is 1, then I will end up with L is equal to square root of 1 into 1 plus 1 into h bar, which is nothing but root 2 h bar. Which, if my J is equal to 2, L is equal to square root of 2 into 2 plus 1 into h bar, which is nothing but root 6 h bar. So in other words, I would have minus J to plus J values. How can you say with 2 root 2 h bar as minus 1 2 plus J values? We can say it with the help of another quantum number, which is azimuthal quantum number. I am denoting it as mj, which is equal to 2j plus 1. So I have said that I would have minus j to plus j values. Consider j is 1, then in this azimuthal quantum number, mj would be 2 into 1 plus 1, which is nothing but 3. I have said earlier, I would have minus j to plus j. So minus 1 to 1 is nothing but minus 1, 0, 1, which is 3 values. And for proof, I'm going to consider a semicircle with a radius of root 2. So I'm considering j is 1. So I'm taking a semicircle with a radius of root 2. Root 2 is nothing but 1.414, right? So I'm constructing a semicircle with a radius of 1.414, and now I'm cutting it into at most equal halves. At most equal halves, I can cut into not more than 4 equal halves. So these 4 equal halves, in these 4 equal halves, I would end up with 3 radii, which are minus 1, 0, and plus 1. Minus 1 at the negative side, plus 1 at the positive side. So sorry, I confused you with minus 1, 0, plus 1. It is plus 1, 0, and minus 1, considering the axis. Okay. So likewise, if my total angular momentum is given by this formula, my spin angular momentum I would be given by spin quantum number and h bar, which is nothing but I is equal to square root of s into s plus 1 into h bar. This is called a spin angular momentum. The azimuthal quantum number corresponding to this spin angular momentum will be denoted as ms, which is 2s plus 1. Okay. So enough with the angular momentum. Let us get into the spin states, nuclear spin states. Consider a proton. Proton contains only one proton, right? No neutrons. So its ground state spin angular momentum would be 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2. How could you calculate this? So your spin can either be plus of or minus of. Ground state spins would be present only in plus of, okay, in NMR. Don't confuse with EPR. It is only NMR. In NMR, your ground state spins would be of plus of value. Here, I would have only one proton, so only one spin. So my ground state will consider of one spin with 1 by 2 value. So I is equal to 1 by 2. Consider deuterium. Deuterium would have one proton, one neutron, right? So in this case, I have two spins in which these two spins are in upper spins. That is 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, which is nothing but 2 1 by 2 or 1. So this is going to be my ground state, I is equal to 1. And my excited state going to be otherwise. Okay? So either proton is upper spin, neutron is down spin, or neutron is upper spin, proton is down spin. No matter, it is I is equal to 0. So I have drawn you into a very important point. Why NMR is different from other basic spectroscopic units? It is different because of this energy gap. It is approximately 10 power 11 kilojoule per mole between the ground state and the first excited state. In the normal spectroscopic techniques, what will we do? we will irradiate some energy to the ground state particles. It will absorb our energy, get excited to the excited state, then it will come back to the ground state by emitting some energy. That energy we will obtain as spectrum, right? That energy we will observe as a spectrum. That is very simple, right? But NMR is not simple as that. Our energy gap between the ground state and first excited state is approximately 10 power 11 kilojoule per mole or 10 power 14 joule per mole. You don't have sufficient energy to excite a particle from ground state to first excited state, because all thermal energies we handle is of 2.5 kilojoule per mole. 2.5 kilojoule per mole. Where is 2.5 and where is 10 power 11? Right. So you don't have sufficient energy to excite a particle from ground state to first excited state. So what can we do? We will use a different technique called Zeeman effect, which you guys know very well, but I will cover it in our later videos. I'm not going to cover it in this video. I will cover it in our later videos. So what I'm going to consider here, or what I'm going to pay my attention on, is only the ground state nuclear spin. Okay. In this case, deuterium, the ground state nuclear spin is 1, which is otherwise known as integer spin. 1/2 is half integer spin. 1 is integer spin. So my isotopes with an even mass number, consider deuterium. Okay. So in deuterium, I have a mass number of 2, which is even. So a isotope with mass even mass number would end up with an integer spin. That is, I is equal to 1, maybe I is equal to 2, I is equal to 3, I is equal to 4 for other isotopes which have even mass number. But isotope which have odd mass number, like proton, which have 1, which is odd, right? So isotopes with odd mass number would end up with an half integer spins. 1/2 is half integer, right? So the other isotopes with odd mass number will have half integer spins like 3/2, 5/2, 7/2, and so on. So an important point to note that particles with integer spin like 1, 2, 3 will be called as bosons, and the particles with half integer spins will be called as fermions. You all know that all electrons are fermions. Okay. And another important point to note is this: nuclei with even protons and even neutrons would end up with 0 ground state nuclear spin. Okay. And nuclei with odd protons and odd neutrons will have integral spin, that is 1, 2, 3, and so on. And nuclei with odd mass, which is either protons even, neutrons odd, or neutrons even, protons odd, that is nuclei with odd mass, they would have half integral spin, which we have seen it in our earlier points. I'm repeating that. Okay. So this is our understanding. With this understanding, let us explore this last 3 categories I have just introduced to you. So zero spin nuclei. Zero spin nuclei are generally NMR inactive. Unfortunately, the most important isotopes of most important elements, the most stable isotopes of most important elements, like 12 carbon, 16 oxygen, 32 sulfur, would have 0 spins, meaning they are NMR inactive. Unfortunate. So let us go into half integer spin nuclei. These are very much important in NMR. So for examples, proton, 31 phosphorus, 13 carbon, 15 nitrogen. These are very much important in NMR. They are NMR active nucleus. So these would contain half integer spins, only 1/2 value. Okay. So not more than 1/2. I would explore now why. So quadrupolar nuclei with integer spin. What is quadrupolar nuclei? I'm introducing you to a new term, quadrupolar nuclei. Quadrupolar nuclei is nothing but which have a spin angular momentum greater than 1/2. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 3 by 2, 5 by 2, and so on. But with integer spin, of course, I'm giving with integer spin. So my I cannot be 3 by 2, 5 by 2, but it can be 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay. So a common example is the stable isotope of nitrogen, 14 nitrogen. So another important fact is that there is no nuclei in our periodic table that contains I equal to 2. Weird, right? But it is an important fact. Note that. And then the highest integer spin in the periodic table would be exhibited by this isotope, lutetium having mass number 176, which have an integer spin I is equal to 7. Okay. Next, quadrupolar nuclei with half integer spin. With half integer spin, it means I can be 3 by 2, 5 by 2, 7 by 2, but not 1 by 2. Okay. Because it is not quadrupolar nuclei. So 4 by 2, 6 by 2 wouldn't come here because 4 by 2 is 2, 6 by 2 is 3, which are integer spins. I'm considering only half integer spin here. So these are very common, but these are very commonly found in alkali metals and boron to thallium groups and the halogens. Okay. To end this video, what we have understood, the nucleus with half integer spins or integer spins are NMR active, and the nucleus with spin angular momentum is 0 is NMR inactive. So that's it for today, guys. If you like this video, give a great thumbs up and give me your suggestions in the comment box below. Share this video. And I'm also taking these lectures in my native language, which is Tamil. ஸோ நீங்கள் ஒரு தமிழனாக இருந்தால் அந்த பேஜுக்கு ஃபாலோ பண்ணுங்கள். நான் அதோட லிங்க்கை டிஸ்கிரிப்ஷனில் கொடுக்குறேன். தேங்க்யூ. ஹேவ் a nice day.